good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, a feast of football currently going on. That's the UEFA Champions League, the revamped UEFA Champions League. We'll be talking about all of that, all for you on the show. We will also be looking at the fallout of the revamped Champions League, players complaining about fixture congestion. We look at it. Things have happened on match day 2 in the Nigeria Premier Football League. We'll look at that also. We'll do our post-mortem of everything that happened on match day 2. Then, of course, we'll look at the next Commonwealth Games, the story around the next Commonwealth Games. It seems the city of Glasgow will come to the rescue. That's the outlook of the show today. It's the two-man show. My colleague Austin Konakman is suited and ready as we go along on this ride.
Sporty greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Action-packed world of sports. The UEFA Champions League is back. It's a new format, and we're already seeing some fantastic football. Aston Villa went away to do the Lord's work at young boys. And of course, Juve saying, look, we're not here to play this time around. I see a lot of away results looking good at halftime. What a story. Bayern Munich, it's a rush right there in Munich. They are rushing Dynamo Zagreb. It's the UEFA Champions League. We know it will definitely get us talking. Club officials, some players are already saying by December, January, we'll be tired. It's choked up and all of that. I mean, I said, give me a break. Y'all know this is all about money and you love it. So we cannot wait to see what this new format of the UEFA Champions League will give us. You mentioned the Commonwealth Games, and I'm wondering what's going on. Why are we having it so difficult? Because the last time in Birmingham, we felt the power of sports, countries coming together from the Commonwealth regions and doing something good with sports. Why is it so difficult to find a host? Can Glasgow come to the rescue? We'll talk about these and more tonight on the show.
All right, let's introduce our guest in the Lagos studio to you. Now, Kehinde joins us now as we take this trip together. Good, this is Kehinde. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's definitely good to see you again. So thanks for joining us. And where do we start? The revamped Champions League. A lot of people confused. Even journalists had to go and read again. Didn't take it serious when everything was changed. But now it's the feast of football. Too much to take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. UEFA Champions League. I mean, it's going to get it. We have to find a way to get used to it.
Yeah, we have to find a way to get used to it. First off, good to be here. Yes, it's been a while I saw you, but I'm always with Austin because he's always, right there. And I can remember a short video, like a trailer was done to introduce the new UEFA Champions League format. But it was done in a manner that captioned what the entire world is talking about, as long as you're following European football. The confusion. That video had the creme de la creme from the past, the likes of, Zanetti, Zlatan,
Gianluigi Buffon.
Yeah, Gigi Buffon and all of that. And then the honorable president himself, Alexandra Seferin, and he was trying to badge off people as of the start of the video. I don't have time. I'm trying to, until he met Zlatan. Zlatan had to pause him and said, talk to us. What does this mean? And then Zlatan made it simple. Just know one thing for everybody who's got their clubs in the competition, that your clubs will not be playing 4 teams in the group stages as it stands. They will be playing more teams, as much as 8. I think that's as basic as it is. You start with that, and then over time, you continue to, understand. It's like every new thing. There will be something that you need to take time to understand, and that's what the UEFA Champions League. The more the merrier. We always love it. For fans, we don't get tired. If they play football every day, Yemi, Austin, Kehinde, we would always be here to report. Okay. And for the fans out there, they will always be there to watch.
I think the only ones that are not excited are the players. But let me go to Austin. It would take some getting used to. Let's be honest. We love the UEFA Champions League. We love it. But some of the dynamics have changed. But of course, we'll see, like Kehinde said, more football. But then some of us seen the old format for so many years. And it has grown on us. So it will take a while to get used to this one.
I mean, I was losing you for some beat, so if you could just repeat that again.
Yeah, I was saying for some of us who've um, gone with this old format for so many years, this new one will get some. We need some getting used to. The only people complaining actually are the players because they'll play more matches. But some of us, even though a lot of more matches, but I think a lot of people are saying it will take a while before this thing grows on us.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's change, and change is inevitable. And sometimes when it comes, it doesn't favor anyone. Sometimes it hurts. Other persons like it. The small teams, for instance, they might be saying, "Oh, they don't have the sort of depth, to play more games in the UEFA Champions League." When you take a look at, people that are just coming like Aston Villa, Strasbourg, they might say, "Oh, they don't have what it takes to go all the way." But if you check the big teams in Europe, it means more commercial revenue for them. It means an opportunity to, get to play more games, get more, fan support. And UEFA will be looking at it too that, look, it gives an opportunity for teams who never thought they could play the UEFA Champions League to even come into it and play more games. I think we'll get used to it. Remember, it was just this way, I think in 2018, when we were just talking about the video assistant referee and if it's going to have a stay in football. Hate it or hate it, the VAR is here to stay. It has come. We have complained. The times that it favors some, we don't hear anything. When it goes against some other persons, they complain. Last season, they asked the 20 English Premier League teams, vote for or against the video assistant referee. Only Wolverhampton Wanderers came out to say they don't want it. And then the Premier League was like, you guys complain about this system every week, but you want it to stay. So I think that's what's going to happen with this new Champions League, format. When we start seeing smaller teams doing the job, getting you and I as pundits to talk about, oddity and, the impossible things that we don't see in football, I think we'll love it. At the end of the day, when clubs start making money, when fans start loving it, when it starts, bringing the magic it brings to different Champions League cities across Europe, then you will see that nobody will talk about it again. Football is huge business. And that's what UEFA looked at and said, look, there's so much we can do. These clubs, they will complain right after a season. You expect them to get the deserved rest. And then you hear they are going to this preseason tour. They will go here. They will go to Asia. They will go to North America. They will go to South America. And then come back to rest for like a week or two before they start. Are those things free? They make money from all of that. So UEFA have looked at their parts. This looks good. They will go and look at their project mandate again right after match they won and say, are we meeting the objectives? And they will match revenue to what they achieved last season, Yemi. And then by the time they start having that board meeting and they are giving themselves high fives, the big clubs will go back to and say, what can we do? Everyone will go back and look at their project execution plan and find ways that they will benefit from this new format. It is here to stay.
Okay, all right. Austin putting the nail on the head. All right, so it is here to stay. Let's talk about completed matches today. Some series of games currently going on. Some interesting matches. Austin will let us in on some of those matches later on. But let's look at the completed matches for today. I'll go across the screen now and talk about this. We've seen lots of goals. I don't know, maybe it's just because everything is just started. And so there you have it. Juventus, the Italian giants, beating PSV Eindhoven. It should have been more than this, honestly, if the Italian giants are taking all their chances. But the game ended 3-1 against the Dutch side, who were not in the game at all, in all honesty. Then you have young boys losing to Aston Villa by 3 goals. Interesting matches. These 2 games completed. Other matches currently going on. Kaide Idris, before we yield to Austin, your thoughts quickly on these 2 matches. I know you were able to see some. So in a minute, because of time, in a minute, your thoughts on this one.
Number one, Juventus, I've been saying it since towards the end of last season. I think they are gradually coming into their own. And we should start, reckoning with Juventus, being that big team that they used to be in the past. And I think these are some of the scoreline that would outline or, mark that, idea. And PSV wants to, to feel that. For Aston Villa, they continue their fine run. Unai Emery should be giving a huge thumbs up, going all the way to young boys and getting not just all 3 points, but getting 3 goals.
And not
I think
conceding.
yes, and not consider. I think that's massive because this is a huge place. I don't care whether it's a new format, old format. The Champions League gathers all of the cream de la cream when it comes to European club football. And you need to be up and right there for you to just to. And they did so well. So fantastic one for Aston Villa. Start well, and it might just project you into big things.
All right. Also, let me come to you quickly. I felt the coach, a former player, Thiago, showed a bit of disrespect to the opponent. At 57 minutes, started taking out his players. I'm even surprised they conceded at all. But Kehinde Idris brought up something interesting I want you to look at in a minute before we go to Wednesday's matches. Do you think the Italian Giants are back? Because if you look at football these days, people under 20 would say, which Juve? Because they're used to seeing Inter win. But we're used to seeing Juventus dominate all the while back. So do you think they are back, like Kehinde Idris is trying to say, and that is what is showing in how the coach, took some of his players off even at 57 minutes?
It's too early. I mean, no disrespect to Juve, but it's just so early. And we know PSV and how they are with the Champions League. They're very fluid, So let's wait. Let them play about 3 matches, and we see some level of consistency. Then we can now start talking. This is just match day 1. And as you know, teams believe that when they start so well, particularly when you're playing your home games, you need to give it a strong start. I think that's what we saw with Juve today. Vintage, compact team, get their chances, take it, lock you in, choke you into the midfield play so that you get tired, and then they run the show. But look, this is football, and that's why I say it's too early. I was just singing praises for Bayern Munich that it was a rush. In 2 minutes, Dynamo Zagreb, I repeat, Dynamo Zagreb scored 2 goals. So at the moment, it's Bayern Munich 3, Dynamo Zagreb 2. That game went into halftime at 3-0 for the Bavarians. Now it's 3-2, under 2 minutes. That's the magic of football, where just about anything can happen. So let's see if Bayern Munich will get angry, get the game back. Otherwise, we might just be talking about an upset on match day 1. It's the UEFA Champions League. It creates a lot of magic. By the way, Real Madrid, they're doing a good job. Kylian Mbappe just got his first goal for Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League. So those are some of the results. Expected scoreline: Real Madrid 1, Stuttgart 0. I told you, Liverpool, they're doing the work away at AC Milan. It's 2-1 now, and they hold on. Again, anything can happen with that. But shout out to Aston Villa. They understood the assignment, got 2 good goals at first half, came back, finished the job. But as it is, I worry for Bayern Munich, and that's why I'm telling you, with Juve, it's still early days here,
All right, so let's take a look at the games that we played tomorrow. Also, we keep filling us in with the results as the match is going on live. So I'll just turn to the screen now. Matches to be played tomorrow: Bologna will take on Shakhtar Donetsk, the Ukrainian side. Sparta Prague will be up against RB Salzburg. Celtic will take on Slovan Bratislava. Club Brugge will take on Dortmund. These are some of the matches to be played on Wednesday. And of course, Manchester City will take on Inter Milan. PSG will take on Girona. I'm talking about Manchester City taking on Inter Milan. This is the thing, the game we want to focus on. A lot of interesting things. The English Premier League champions and, of course, the Serie A champions are taking all on each other. There's been a lot of talk about what could possibly happen in that game. All right, so let's quickly listen to the Manchester City manager, Pep Guardiola, sharing his thoughts about this game and all the other things around, of course, Manchester City.
It was a good team at that moment. It's a really good team right now. So, same manager. Simone knows how incredible patterns. And, in Italy, the last years, they were the best. So, in Italy, always have been a tough league, a lot of experience and so competitive, and tomorrow will not be an exception. Do you know why? I played 11 years as a professional, as a football player. I was a football player in the past, I scored 11 goals. This guy in 4 goals scored 9. So have one more game, equalize me. So Imagine if you surprise me. I said many times, I don't think much about the future, about what happened in January and February, or what is the mental. So I don't know. I'm focusing and prepare well the game and try to win tomorrow. And after restful days, Arsenal and Watford, and I don't think much, honestly. I always have been like that. So it's because I don't know what's going to happen, not even tomorrow. Imagine in January. Many things can happen. So I think in the modern football, modern sports, you have to handle the present and what is the next game, and that's all.
Pep Guardiola saying he's focused on the next game. Quick one, Kehinde Idris. Pep Guardiola knows how to throw us off. So most of the times I don't believe him actually. But he says, look, January is too long a time. My focus is the next game.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. And I think he shows that so well. You hardly see him, discuss any game that is not the game in front of him. That's why every time you hear him playing Brentford and he's praising Brentford like he's playing Real Madrid.
And the next day he hammers them 5-0.
Because he focuses on the next game. And I think that's the way to go. Take each game as they come. And for Inter, there should be mutual respect. 2 editions away, the UEFA Champions League, they were both finalists. And they needed to be up and right before Rodri got, that one goal that sealed the Champions League for Man City for the first time ever. So they know the kind of team. And he mentioned, he said Diego Simeone is Inzaghi is still the coach, which is still Pep Guardiola at Man City. So it's still almost the same setup, and the boys are almost still the same. So you know what they gave, what the kind of competition they gave you the last time. And yes, you're feeling they might just bring that. Even as much as it's early days, you need to be wary of some very top teams. And Inter, in recent years, are one of those top European teams.
Okay, all right. Austin, I'm yielding to you. Brings us back to what we were saying earlier. And of course, Manchester City star Rodri has been talking about something that can happen if the organizers of football in Europe don't listen to the players.
I know you, me. That's why I told these players, come on, stop playing, give me a break. Rodri talked about a congested season with Manchester City, where he played almost every game, and the one he didn't get to play, Manchester City wasn't winning. Same Rodri went to the Euros and did what? He was the player of the tournament. Give me a break, Rodri. I know these players, and when they start talking about, a congested schedule and all of that, I know how it is. And with this, you need this sort of conversation. Manchester City, Inter Milan is a big fixture. 2 seasons ago, that was the UEFA Champions League final, guys, remember? And now that's how they're starting their campaign. So let's listen to Rodri. He's talking about a congested fixed schedule and all of that. So give me a break, come on.
Obviously, I think between 40 and 50 is the amount of games in which a player can perform in the highest level. After that, everything you drop because it's impossible to sustain the physical level. And I think this years we're gonna go until 70, maybe 80. I don't know. Depends on how far you go into competitions. In my humble opinion, I think it's too much. I think we have to take care of ourselves. I think we're close to that. I mean, because it's easy to understand. I mean, if we're asking something, and I think it's something general, I think you ask any player, he will say the same. It's not like the opinion of Rodri or whatever. No, so I think it's the general opinion of the players. And if it keeps this way, it will be a moment that we have no other option. I really think, but let's see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's something that worries us because we are the guys that suffer. So maybe it's a good example. I mean, he had a long break because, his country didn't qualify for the Euro, so long break. And you see how he's performing right now. He's turning again that beast we saw in the early days. It can gives you a clue that why we ask this. But I don't know. That's my opinion, and that's it.
A lot of players would like to be in Rodri's place, making all the money they make. But that's an issue for another day. We're about to go on a break. Just let our viewers know that when we return from that break, on our DSCP platform, you will be on to Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoudi Akuka. But on all our other platforms, you will be on to Sports Tonight, where we'll be discussing all of these issues and more. Let's go on that break. We'll return for more on Sports Tonight. Welcome back. Of course, we'll be talking about the UEFA Champions League. And of course, when on break, we'll listen to Manchester City midfielder, starman, Rodri. I can't Idris, just a little bit before we go back to Austin. I've listened to some analysts, I've listened to some important people that say you make all the box, so you have to be ready to play all the games.
Yeah.
But the health experts will tell you that this thing is taking a toll on the players. Rodri was quick to point out that look at Haaland. He rested well. Look how sharp he is.
Yeah. By the way, Bayern Munich is leading 5-2 now. Some say, fans on social media say if the games are too much for you, retire from football and come be a doctor. Come be a nurse.
Wow.
What they are saying is, the kind of monies you guys
signed
make,
up for this.
the kind of monies you guys make, careers, as in lofty careers, are envious of footballers like every. Yes, we know their time is limited. Yes, Pepe is 42 and was celebrating everywhere because you hardly find such longevity in football, in sports. So maybe at max 40, 42, let's put it at 45. Otherwise, the doctor can still walk up until his 70s, even his 80s, So, but these monies are super crazy. And yes, when you earn such money, you should know. You should know that wherever that money is coming from, they also demand for more. Okay. And I think that's simply what's happening to footballers right now. When Gianni Infantino came in, he said there were lots of money in FIFA, in football, and we need to create more competition so we can spread out this money. And that is why the World Club Football is now taking a new format where you play more games.
Okay, Kenny Idris.
UEFA Champions League, more games.
That's one way to see it. But the other side, there has to be a balance.
I understand.
But I get, Austin has had his piece on that anyway. So I guess we can move on. And Austin, I yield to you. We're coming to Africa where no such problems exist.
No, and our players are saying, give us more competition, and we're also saying for the business of sports in Africa, particularly with football, we need to find a way to, tap into the numerous benefits and opportunities that there is in football. And that's what Patrice Motsepe is trying to do since he became the CAF president. He's been talking about business about football. He's looking at the market in Africa. He's looking at the population in West Africa. He's looking at the talents that abound. And he's saying, look, we need to do more in developing our football and bring out the money that is in need, particularly when we start building inwards. And that's what the CHAN intends to do. That's the major objective, to empower players who ply their trades in Africa. And so we are getting ready for the CHAN. A date has been announced. Patrice Motsepe has been speaking about it, so let's listen to him.
The calendar is congested, and historically, some of the countries had the choice of not participating in the CHAN, and we've changed it because you can't choose and say, I like this one, I don't like this one. You participate in all competitions. But the beauty of the CHAN is many of the member associations that don't qualify for the AFCON, this is the ultimate. But the other issue is that even if the overseas players are not here, this is where we have to build depth. We have to allow some of our most talented young African players to say to the coaches, you know what, I may not be playing in Europe, but I am as good as the best, not just in Africa, but as good as the best in the world. So that's partly why I'm increasing the prize money. I mean, at the minimum, I don't know, what is the prize money now for winning the CHAN? Because we increased it, how much? Yeah, so we've increased it significantly from what it was in the past. And I don't want to give the number now because I first want to get a bit of advice from, with the Motsepe Foundation, I make commitments without the trustees. I can't here, I've got to go and get, so we will, it's an exceptional opportunity for the most talented African players. There will be a competition because some of your premier leagues will have their players still participating in their competitions, but it's perfect. Let's get the most talented young African players to go and compete, because those players in CHAN now are the tomorrow's winners of the CAN, and as we have also said, or AFCON as you'd call it, and we are very clear that part of our plan is the confidence we have that an African nation will be champions of the world, of the FIFA World Cup.
That's where the dream can start, Kende. It can start with league football development in Africa, and the CHAN is a good competition to, test that objective.
Yeah. The only thing I'll ask CAF to do is the CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, the CHAN or CAN, whichever way it's being called, should get probably more publicity. Put it in the eye of the people. Trust me, the AFCON earlier this year, you can't compare it to the CHAN. I've never heard a CHAN that is as popular as the AFCON. And if we're waxing lyrical the way the president is right now, I think we should do more in publicizing it. Yes, we've seen very fantastic players from here rise to, being special outside there. So opportunities won't come to everybody. So wherever you find yourself, there's competition for you to display what you can do. You go there, you do that. And that's why publicity is as important. And I think, adding more to the prize money, also sitting to talk thoroughly about the CHAN is the way to go. And I want to see how it translates into, each and everybody who are fans of football in Africa now reckons with the CHAN. Sometimes the CHAN goes on and you don't even know. Some people don't even have an idea. I want to see that happen like every now and then.
I agree with everything you said. And if we want to bring it home for Nigeria, and I think that is what's happening in most West African countries, this competition, we should find a way. CAF has done its own, but as a country, we should find a way to make our league lucrative.
Yeah.
So Mosepe is saying, look, CHAN may give a player the chance to say, look, I may not be in Europe, see what I can do here. But you see, the mindset currently is that CHAN is my getaway card.
Yeah.
And that has to change about the tournament.
From home.
And even those of us, I know those coaches have problems because they select a player today, he plays, he's off to Seychelles, he's also Commonwealth Island. I don't know if our players go there, but I'm just saying that. But at home, we need to prioritize this competition.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that you probably think I'm always bringing up problems. We've been failing to qualify for the Olympics, the men's football event. And it's a simple problem. But because we have decided not to solve the competition is not on the FIFA calendar, we can't get the professionals to play, and that's why we've not been qualified. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The CHAN tournament, the only reason Nigeria has not won is because we've not been able to keep our best players in the league together. And what is the reason why we've not been able to keep them together? Anybody will go to Ethiopia, Sudan, where they're currently fighting, because they feel they get a better treatment.
Stable pay.
But if we can sort that, now CAF has done 50% of the job. It's going to be more lucrative. We're going to raise the profile. We're going to have
Publicity.
more money. We're going to do all of that. What can we do here? I know we're going to talk about the league later on, but what can we do here?
Federations.
There is no coach that has handled CHAN that I blame.
At all.
I don't blame them.
At all.
Because we have not solved the problem. It brings us back to player welfare. So let me yield to us because I go on and on. But I like what Mosobe is saying. This is a man that I like. I like the fact that we have a billionaire running football. And you don't hear all the kind of scandals we used to hear in times past. And it's good to hear, really. Let me allow us to take it from there. But these are good times for me.
Yeah, I think it is. It's refreshing. Ever since Patrice Motsepe came on board, it's always reassuring when you hear him talk about football development in Africa. But we know how stubborn and sometimes backwards CAF can be. And I know the troubles that he's facing. You see how he was even being careful about talking about the prize money and some of the things that is expected. But he did all he could to big up the CHAN. He did everything he could to make people understand that, look, this is a competition that, a home-based player in Aqua United or Shooting Stars or Bendel Insurance can use and take to the Super Eagles and coach and say, did you not see me at the last CHAN? Can't you see the way I performed? This is what he can use to sell himself. Scouts can come in and look at the competition. So he's doing a good job by selling it to the major players, the actors, the ambassadors of football in Africa. And those guys are the custodians. If you want to admire North African football, don't go further. Look at what they're doing with their football. And all of us are looking at it and want it to be like that in West Africa. Mosepe believes that the champ can do it, and I totally agree with him. So, let's bring the discussion back home. Talk about the one that we have, the Nigerian Premier Football League. We keep saying it. We need to make it look good. Let it be the beautiful bride that will lead to, bring in good suitors to, invest in football in Nigeria.
Yeah, I agree. You have to keep your best legs. That's just it. And the only way to keep your best legs is money. Let's look at the results, like Austin said, and talk about it. Match day 2. Results. Promise Keepers didn't go their way. Played a 1-1 draw with RBA Warriors. Bayelsa United, another 1-1 draw with Kano Pillars. Casina United defeated Bendel Insurance 2-1. Niger Tornadoes played a goalless draw. Too many draws, actually. Played a goalless draw with Nasarawa United. These are results from the Nigeria Premier Football League. The Oli Warriors, 1-1 draw with Plateau United. Rebel Stars, slim 1-0 victory over Sunshine Stars in the Southwest Derby. Rivers United beat Heartland 3-1. So these are the results. 8 matches, and of course you understand why it was so. Kehinde Idris, talk to me. Rivers United, Heartland. Were you surprised?
No,
with the outcome?
Finidi George versus Emmanuel Amunike. It was good friendship, when they met before the game. But during the game, hostilities.
On your screen?
And then, after the game, they still shared, farewells. But fantastic. Finidi George showed that he has been in this league for a longer while. I think Amunike needs to understand the arts and also, the doings in the MPFL. So fantastic. Also, Rivers are bigger than Atlanta. This Atlanta, shouldn't even be in the league on this day.
Lucky to be here.
Yeah, they shouldn't be here. Then also on Sunday, we had only one win. It was all draw. And like we always say, pardon us if we say it so much, it is hard to get away points in the MPFL. So when we see so many of it, lined up, we love it. It was only Katsina United beating Bendel Insurance on Sunday. That was the only win for home team. All other games were a draw. And that means the teams who traveled, went didn't get back to their houses empty-handed. They came back with a point, which is good in the MPFL. You hold your own, you pick those points on the road, and it helps you, whether continent or even winning the league. So fantastic one, but Rivers United versus Atlant, I think it was massive. I also had my eyes on Kano Pillars because of one and just one reason. I think Rabiu Ali should get more celebration. At 43, he has scored over 121 goals in the MPFL.
Should get a lot more mentions.
Yes, fantastic.
I agree with you. All right, let me go to Austin. 2 things I'm very sure he wants to talk about, but I won't let him do what he wants to do first. Talk about Aqua United later. But start with Remo Stars winning the Southwest Derby, beating Sunshine Stars. Then we allow you to talk about Aqua United, whatever you want to say about that. They weren't able to keep promise on that day anyway. But let's start with Remo Stars getting the job done. 1-0 victory over Sunshine Stars.
They needed to, and they had to dig deep. It was a beautiful goal. He kept his composure, ensured that he protected his territory. There was unity of purpose, and then it finished. 1-0 is a big, big win in football. And for Remo Stars, they needed to do that to, apply pressure. And this early start is very important. So we know what Remo Stars are capable of. They were so close last season, and they've only continued, where they stopped. I think this should have also been, a good one for them, but somehow that goal didn't count. So Remo Stars didn't have to bother. Goalkeeper wasn't thinking, but I had to look at this over and over again. Like, where was the offside in it? But that's another discussion for another time. It wasn't a problem because Remo Stars had, done the job, with that goal, and they went on to win. So now they top the table with six points. And we're waiting to see. It's just match day 2. To take it back to Aqua United, on the last time I was on the show when we were talking about the fixtures, if you ask our producer Irene, I did everything I could to avoid talking about that one. Not because I wasn't confident, but because of the way they played against Lobby Stars in the opener, I thought they created enough chances to have, got something from that one in Lafia, and they didn't. And against Abia Warriors, it was a struggle. Aqua United, what's up with having a good start in the MPFL? It was, I think, with the last kick of the game that they got that penalty. And that was why Abia Warriors were, contesting it, that it wasn't supposed to be a penalty. But when you look at it, the replays, you could tell that it was a handball inside the area. And the referee mentioned that's ball defending right there. And, player capitalized on it, picked it, and then scored. Aqua United started struggling to get back into it. But they had to get that late penalty, and then it was converted, and it ended 1-1. So it's good one for league football in Nigeria. I called the game between Katsina and Bendel Insurance. I said it was going to be a beautiful game of football, and it was. Katsina United doing enough to beat, Bendel Insurance by 2-1. You guys already talked about Rivers United and Heartland. Coach Emmanuel Amunike still looking for his first win with the Nazi Millionaires, but Finidi just said, look, no problem. I've been in this league. Come, let me show you some lessons. And he did that. It's just match day 2. We love the MPFL. We just hope that we'll see more quality football and hopefully, get us talking and then take football in Nigeria to the level where we want it to be.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. Let me just turn back and show you what the table looks like. And there you have it right there on your screen. Match after match day 2, the top 4, Remo Stars leading. We have Kano Pillars, Rivers United, Niger Tornadoes in that order. Remo Stars, the only team to have won 2 matches so far. So they're currently leading. But you have the bottom 3. You have Kwara United, Korodu City, and Heartland, although both of them playing just 1 game. And you know why? Of course, their opponents are the teams on the continent, and surely that is why they are in that position. All right, let's allow Austin in a minute. Just tell us what's going on with the UEFA Champions League games. Then, of course, we'll end it all up talking about the Commonwealth Games. But for Austin, let's yield back to you. Kaide Idris, let us know that, of course, the opponents of Bayern angered Bayern by scoring those 2 goals. And Bayern turned on the style. They scored 5. What's the situation now?
Yeah, it's now 7. It's Bayern Munich 7, Dynamo Zagreb 2. What a story. Let me tell you what happened. When we started halftime, for the 6th minute, Manuel Neuer had a bad fall in the first half of the game, and so he was substituted by Sven Ulrich. And Ulrich came in and considered 2 goals in 2 minutes. And I came on to tell you guys, look at what is going on in Munich. It's now 3-2. Bayern Munich needs to be careful. And I think they heard, they were like, Austin, stop playing. And then boom, 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 the goals started coming. Harry Kane, 4 goals for the England captain. I think that makes it his 53rd or 54th goal for Bayern Munich. It's a rush right there. That one is done and dusted. 7-2 at the moment. What a story in UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich, they are not smiling. Liverpool, I thought they were going to do just enough. And yes, they have confirmed it. Remember, it was Christian Pulisic that scored the first goal for AC Milan in the 3rd minute. And then Liverpool had to dig deep in the 21st minute. Konate made it 1-1. And then just before halftime, Virgil van Dijk made it 2-1. As we speak, it's now AC Milan 1, Liverpool 3. That's the UEFA Champions League for you. What's going on in the game between Sporting Lisbon and Lille? It's Sporting Lisbon 2, Lille 0. Real Madrid, surprise, Yemi. I told you Kylian Mbappe has opened his campaign for goals at Real Madrid. But Stuttgart, they said, look, we are here to fight. It's Real Madrid 1, Stuttgart 1.
All right. So interesting. We'll see what happens in all of those matches. All right. Can you do this? Let me get you talking. Austin is going to give us a bigger picture because it's close to where things are happening. But there's a problem in global sports that has not been before. And I don't know, maybe it's a reflection of what is happening in global economy. We're seeing countries opt out of major sporting events.
Yeah.
Most times they are citing inflation. Most times they are citing change of cost. Yeah. Look at what happened with Tokyo. Yeah. They said, look, when we accepted this thing, by the time we were going to host, it was 5 times what The city of Victoria, the Australian state of Victoria, was set to host the next Olympics 2026. But now it seems they will not be doing that. But Glasgow has stepped up and say we're going to do this. But there's an arrangement behind this. Let me allow you to talk about it. We'll leave Austin to give us all the juicy details. But what do you think is a problem? It was never like that.
Yeah, it was never like that. The moment we see cities celebrate, winning a bid to host a major competition, and they do everything.
They will do everything.
Whether it's 10 years, before the competition, whether it's 3 years, it doesn't matter. What matters is we put in the bid, and then we won the bid, and the entire city is agog because they know that everybody from around the world is coming. In the case of Commonwealth, every Commonwealth nation will be in their country, and they will share, time. But recently, I think it's just testament to the fact that inflation or a whole lot of economic breakdown and issues is evident with top cities pulling out of competition, like without any shame. The city of Australia, they came out to let everybody know that there is no way that they are going to do this. Right. It will hit hard into their budget, into their economy, and they cannot do that. But thank God Glasgow came in. Hopefully, Glasgow will not give us stories because 2026 is still a bit far. When they do their feasibility study, it might be more than what they think.
Let's hear for Austin. Austin, we hear there's an arrangement behind the scene. Australian city of Victoria is going to support, I think, with about 3 million. I don't know. But there's something behind the scene. It's yet to be ratified, but it's out there.
Yeah, I'm sure the city of Victoria, they are feeling real bad because they've now put the games into a very difficult position. But shout out to the city of Glasgow for stepping up to take it. But what I'm hearing is that it's going to be a scaled down event with fewer sports. I think about 10 sports across 4 cities. For now, we know of Glasgow. We're waiting to know the other cities, and the dates are also yet to be confirmed. But the city of Victoria, they have said, look, we're going to support. We know this was supposed to be us hosting, but they said due to rising costs. It's not easy. It's not cheap. And the world has seen a lot of financial downturn here and there, recession here and there, inflation rates getting higher. And so Australia couldn't host it. Glasgow, they're happy to jump on it. The last time Scotland hosted the Commonwealth Games was, I think, 12 years ago. So they're using this as an opportunity. I hear they've written to the Commonwealth authorities to say, look, we are glad, we want to take it, want to host it. They're also speaking to the city of Birmingham to get some lessons learned from the last time that they hosted in 2022. Look, this is sports, and we use it to empower countries. And the Commonwealth region, they know that they can actually use this to promote peace, unity, and regional cooperation among member states. I just hope that they find a solution, give Glasgow all the support that it needs. I'm sure England will also support Scotland so we can have the Commonwealth Games in 2026. That's a good place to leave it. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Well, it's a wrap from here in Lagos as well. But first, I want to thank Kenny Idris for his time. And as usual, we'll take the conversation out of the studio. Thank you very much, Kenny.
It's good to be here always.
All right, that's the show. We do hope you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. I will be back here again tomorrow. I'm Amy Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Yes. Well, it has been.
Wow, that is phenomenal golf.